Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan Jesse, in the building. That's right. Back at it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always. This came across the docket this morning in an article from ESPN, and I don't really know what to do with it. I don't really know how to take this news. I don't know if it'll happen. It is lying season. But this one is surprising, as the Chicago Bears, based on accounts from an NFC Area Scout, are expected to be looking heavily at Will Johnson possibly being the pick at 10. Shay Norling was on this a couple of weeks ago. We'll break that down. Also, TJ Edwards has been signed. Kyler Gordon has been signed. Is this Bears defense actually set? Because we had a lot of pieces that we had last year still on this team. Do we feel confident that this defense is going to be solid going into the season? And ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls disappoint yet again. Here we go. Hey, the date is 4/17/2025, 7:03 in the morning. And I have it on good authority that as a Bulls fan, we're not back up. Not in the slightest. We're just here. We're just living life, man. Don't even know what to say about Kobe White now. I got nothing. Hey, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Stop playing around with us, man. I need y'all going ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. How y'all feeling this morning? I mean, listen, a lot to get to on today's episode. There is so much to unpack with all of this. And we'll start off on the football aspect of things, right? ESPN Scout, ESPN coming out with a article basically having scouts go through and say, you know, what they're hearing about the Chicago, or not just Chicago Bears, but about all of the teams here in the top 10. And what we got from an NFC Scout from the NFC Scout South area was that Will Johnson is somebody who he is hearing right now is high on the Bears list. He said, my personal list of Bears needs would also include defensive line, where a top prospect such as Walter Nolan and Derek Harmon from Oregon would go if they are available, but they don't represent good value at number 10. And since there are no trades in this mock, they designated this basically just on who would you take at this pick with this move. He said, I believe in using top 10 picks on premium positions, quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, or cornerback. And Johnson's tape the last 2 years is of an elite cornerback. Now, he did miss the second half of that 2024 season with a toe injury and was slowed down in the pre-draft process by a hamstring injury, which are the two things that I think concern me the most, right? Are you drafting somebody who's coming in, who had a phenomenal college career, but is starting to hit that injury bug as they're getting towards their professional career? But he still was the best cornerback in college football when he was healthy out there. He had 2 interceptions early on in the season, ran both of those interceptions back for touchdowns. He's got great eyes, great instinct. And the scout says that he would compare him to Trayvon Diggs as a pro prospect. Now at 6'2", he has him as the number 7 prospect overall. And listen, I think to me, this is a conversation in where is your focus at, and you're just going to have to trust Ben Johnson on this one, right? You're just going to have to trust Dennis Allen on this one. But it feels like, based on the offseason moves, and of course the conversation that that we're going to have later on here in the show about the Bears moving forward, it does feel like the Chicago Bears are yet again focused on going out there and continuing to set this defense right, which is not a bad thing. But I think here's where my concern does come in with this conversation. You've just paid Kyler Gordon $40 million. You're coming off of paying Jalen Johnson his big contract. And now you're in a situation where what? You're going to go out and make your top 10 pick a DB? You're going to invest most of your money on this defense in that DB room? I'm not telling you that Will Johnson isn't an elite talent. I'm not telling you that he doesn't have a ton of skill set. I'm not telling you that if you made that pick, it would be a bad pick. What I am telling you is that you're investing a heck of a lot of your future into DBs if you go with that move. And what's funny about all of it is, and I think I saw somebody say it already here in the comments, it's a Poles move. It's a Ryan Poles move. It would make perfect sense for the Bears to go that route. Because it's what we've seen them do. Like the video if you agree. We have seen the Bears prioritize DB above all other positions. We could not like it, but you can't tell me it doesn't make perfect sense for where Ryan Poles is at. And how he has operated throughout his time here in Chicago. Like, I get it. I get it. I get the there's no way the Chicago Bears would ever do that. I think there's every way the Chicago Bears would make this move. And I think that, to be honest with you, when I look at it, I would not be thrilled by it. It probably would be the move that I would look at and go, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even look at this as because you're not addressing a position of need. You literally are going. Now, I will say this, and a lot of people have talked about this in this chat, right? If you're screaming BPA, if you're screaming BPA, and Genty's off the board, Mason Graham is off the board, Abdul Carter's going to be off of the board at that point. Maybe Tyler Warren's off the board. Maybe he's on the board. Maybe he's off the board, right? But if you're screaming BPA, this guy does fit into the conversation of BPA. Will Johnson does fit into the conversation of BPA. It's just not a position of need at all for the Chicago Bears. And to me, I think that's the thing for me that will always scream out, okay, are we going position of need here, or are we going BPA? Because this is not a need at all. In fact, it's probably the thing you need the least. I think coming into this season, I still have faith in Tyreek Stevenson. Now, maybe that is where the Bears do differ here, right? Maybe that's where the Bears kind of look at this. And in a season where the Bears have kind of come out and been very confident on a lot of the players and been very vocal about a lot of the players that they want to bring back in here. They haven't done that with Tyreek Stevenson. So maybe the Bears are not confident in Tyreek Stevenson, which again, you have to sit there and have a conversation with Dennis Allen and say, look, do you believe in Tyreek Stevenson, or Al Harris and say, do you think that this guy's an impact player moving forward? I don't know if that's the case. I don't know how they feel about Tyreek, but I'll tell you this. If you take Will Johnson 10, that does scream, we don't believe in you. That does scream, hey, yeah, we got this position of need, but also we don't think you've got it. We don't think you're the answer. It would be very, very surprising to me if the Bears went this route. But I guess kind of the conversation on the flip side of it is, are you going to leave a better talent on the board to try and what? Trade back? Again, the trade back conversation has been dead. Who's trading up? And now especially, and this is why we had the conversation the other day with the Panthers pick. If somebody does trade up, the Panthers pick is available. I need to get ahead of where the Bears are. The Panthers are willing to get to trade their pick. Who's moving up? Who needs a quarterback? That's where, to me, this gets kind of tough. Right? You are in a situation here where the Bears are kind of, for lack of a better word, you're kind of stuck at 10. Because what it's going to cost for a team like the Steelers to move up from 21 to 10, the Steelers aren't going to want to pay. And they're not going to have to pay. They know the Bears aren't selecting quarterback. Nobody in between the Bears and the Steelers are selecting quarterback. The only fear is that the Saints are going to select a quarterback, and maybe you got to get above the Saints. And do you know what you would have to give up to get up to 7? Like, that's when it gets tough for me. That's when the conversation gets extremely tough for me. Shout out to JP with the super chat. Said, just wanted to say this before I get back to work after watching highlights. I think Kenneth Grant is better than Graham. The man was double damn near every play. I'm taking Grant or Mason. You know what? I do. When you look at the board, and I think this is the part where we got to look back, right? Where oftentimes we look at what the Bears do in the moment, and it's about, okay, well, what if you look back on it? Pause. That's crazy. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. You got to look at, okay, well, if the Bears go out here and make this move, or if the Bears go out here and make this draft pick, right? What's it going to look like now versus what is it going to look like 2 years from now? That's what I'm looking at. What is it going to look like 2 years from now? Did you find a piece? Did you find a player who can go out there and consistently make plays? I don't care about what the draft room looks like or how excited people are. Did you find a guy who's dominant? That's what matters. And when you look back on it in 2 years, if you go, oh, look at that, we found Kenneth Grant, top 10. People were saying he was going to fall to the second round, which maybe he would. But if Kenneth Grant is sitting there wreaking havoc in the middle, no one's going to care. Just get the pick right. That's all I care about moving forward, man. Just get the pick right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We do have a little bit of an update here for those of you who are going to the draft party. We had an issue with the previous spot that we were going to have the party at. And so, unfortunately, last minute, we are going to have to move the party. Let me get over here and look at all this stuff from the super producer. He texted me the thing. I ain't got time to download that right now. It's going to now be at VIP Bar and Grill in Homewood, 18221 Crawford Avenue, Homewood, Illinois. Pull up on us, man. It's still going to be a great time. We're still going to have a heck of a lot of fun. Just have to change the location a little bit. Essentially, same distance from the city, just going in the other direction. But make sure to pull up on us, man. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna change all the stuff in on the flyer and all of that, and on the Eventbrite so that we can get this. Okay, let me see if I can get this image downloaded here so I can show it to you guys. But yeah, it's gonna be a VIP bar and grill now. Unfortunately, we had an issue with the previous location, and last minute we got to make a little swap here, but that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. We pivot. We don't give up. We pivot. And we want to see you guys pull up out there. There still is going to be a 65-inch TV giveaway. Do not worry there, Nova. We are still going to have merch available to raffle off at the event. Do not worry there. It's going to be a great time. There's going to be a bar in the building on this one. There is going to be food in the building as well, just like it was in the other spot. We're just moving the location around. We're going to be at VIP Bar and Grill, so make sure that you pull up on us, man. Out in Homewood. Y'all down the street from the trenches in Homewood. But down the street, brother. As long as you're down the street. My guy. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. I guess that was kind of our ad break because we got to do that. Let's get a little music coming in there. Yeah, there we go. We got 153 in the chat right now. I need 100 likes on the video. We got over 200 in the chat. 200. We got 153 on the YouTube side. We got 81 over on the Twitter side, man. Hit that like button if you are here on the YouTube side, man. Subscribe to the page. It is free to do that. And then also tap in with us on the Twitter side, man. Hit that retweet button. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Let's keep this thing moving along. As we just talked about, the Chicago Bears going out there and the possibility of them drafting a DB at 10. That's crazy to me. Like even saying it, it's like, that's insane. Is that something that you want to see the Bears do? And if they do, we saw the signing of TJ Edwards break last night. We saw the signing of Kyler Gordon earlier. What the heck is this? Do you want to get on the stream like that, or should I keep you on the side here? I don't know if Joel can hear me. I don't know what Joel's doing. He just popped in the stream. I don't know if he wants to jump on or not. Do you want to jump on? Are you in the bathroom right now?
Look, man. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Get out of here.
I can hear you.
I'm trying to switch over.
To what? What's happening? Do you have pants on?
Look, man. I got like two things going. Because it's a delay. I think I can hear me on the regular. Maybe.
Oh my God. I did not see that coming. Joel Hefner is in the building. King Book of World. Joel Hefner.
Look, man, I look at this thing talking about we might take a cornerback at 10. I got to upgrade this VIP stuff.
That made you just have to jump in here. You just have to jump in here. Shout out to the super producer Joel Holt. Are you? Do you want to stay and talk, or were you just jumping in to add something in?
I had to, man. It was an emergency broadcast.
This was an emergency for you, dog. Okay, well, before we get into the defensive topic, then, what are your thoughts on the fact that the Bears have? Wakes up instantly, puts on a robe and hat. He woke up in a Bears. What are your thoughts on the DB Will Johnson possibly being there at 10? When you look at BPA, he is a best player available kind of guy.
I knew that everybody get kicked out of my robe. I got to jump.
It's the fact. It's the fact that you're here. But what are your thoughts on the possibility of taking a DB there? Can you even hear me, dog? This mug
I would hope not. I would hope that we're able to take a. I think I'd rather go with the luxury pick. Yeah, something it's off here because I think I'm still going through actual YouTube to stream.
So close YouTube. All right, I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna let you figure that out. I don't know what's going on with Joel here. Joel jumped in like bathrobe hat and just out of nowhere, dog. Just so random. Blazing Nugs said, close your robe, dog. I don't know what just happened. Steve, that was a week delay. Oh God, Joel never changed, bro. Never changed. I am in tears right now. But no, the conversation that I want to have now, and if Joel ever figures it out, we'll come back to the DB combo. Is that is this defense really set? You know what I mean? Is this defense actually set? Where okay, you ready? You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's have, there it is. Oh, what no delay on that one. Is this defense set to the point where you feel you don't need to go DB? Will Johnson here at 10, it would be a shock, I think, to most people here. And if that's the direction that Ryan Poles chooses to go, I don't know if I'd be. It fits him. But you also just re-signed TJ Edwards. You also just invested in Kyler Gordon. There's a lot of money in that DB room. Is that a direction that you can go here?
Well, we spoke about this. I actually, in my comment earlier, I said this draft is the absolute worst because this is so much misdirection coming from all over the place. It's either tackle, then it's been running back. The stuff that leaks out. Oh, we like this tight end. I think Ryan Poles and company love this because we don't know what they really want to do with the draft. And I think they do know how it's going to play out. The thing is that if you really look at what they did, they technically upgraded everything. So whoever they end up picking, it's like it's driving us crazy because it's more of a luxury for them. And this could lend to, does drafting Will Johnson also lend to maybe something with Brisker? I know he's a safety, but it's impacting their secondary because they want to strengthen that. But, I'd rather them get a playmaker in the first round if we can, So
yeah, listen, I think, and that's the conversation that I had, right? And when you look back on it, JC, I completely forgot to say that on the stream here. JC is on a road trip. So he didn't just disappear. He didn't miss the show. He is on a road trip here. Shout out to Steve Joel joins in.
Drifting on a memory. Ooh. Yeah, there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah.
Than with you. But no, man, I think that you have to ask yourself with the Will Johnson conversation with whoever you take, right? If you in 2 years looking back on this, how do you go out there and view that pick on the field when there's actual NFL tape happening here, right? Like, I think if you take Kenneth Grant at 10 and they brought up Derek Harmon in the article, right? Like, if I go either of those directions in the draft in 2 years, is my defense set? Because a lot of these pieces that you've gone out and paid are not going anywhere for a while now, right? TJ Edwards probably going to get a restructured deal. This is basically a 1-year deal for him, $16.6 million guaranteed. It's probably going to be up front. I'm sure they'll get some kind of deal done there where it's in signing bonus or something like that. But I think that in 2 years, right? How is TJ Edwards impacting this team? How is Kyler Gordon impacting this team on those signings? Is your defense set? And is whatever piece you add, if you do go defense here, is that going to be a piece that we look back on and go, yeah, that was the right pick? Or, yeah, he's making an impact. Maybe somebody else was a little bit better here or there, but this dude is a game wrecker in the middle of the field, or he's a game wrecker opposite Jalen Johnson if you do go to Will Johnson route. Like, those are the things that matter most to me.
I think, but we're getting too caught up in the first round. Like, we still have 2 second-round picks. We still got to see how they scout. This is a whole new, coaching staff. Dennis Allen, whatever his impact is on the draft as well. You got to say, I mean, like, okay, let's just say they do take Will Johnson. This would be no different from them when Poles took Brisker and Gordon his first draft. You're like, okay, but he got two standout players. Now, mind you, Brisker's had some concussions issues this last year, but he's been a stud. And Kyler Gordon obviously got re-signed, so he's been doing good as well. So it's like you kind of got to trust the process of how they want to build their team. And I think that always goes back to, like, I think the conversation we had the other day. Do we trust Poles to keep making those decisions? I do, for the most part. I mean, I think the handcuffs are off of him from some of the previous administration in terms of, I still don't buy it to this day that he picked Eberflus. I think that he was force-fed Eberflus. But, in general, we got to let this thing play out. We got a quarterback. The offensive line has been upgraded. It sounds like they're going to probably keep Braxton. So everybody that they're picking is going to add to this team. It's more of a luxury in my opinion. Because I would like to see him. Go ahead.
Not only are we going to keep Braxton Jones, but then we're going to draft another DB. What a Poles move. What a Poles move, dog. Oh, not only are we going to keep Jalen Johnson, but also cornerback.
Yeah.
I mean, not Jalen Johnson. Not only are we gonna keep Braxton Jones, but also cornerback. I don't know, bro. Like, I get it. All right. And I think it is the conversation that we have every year. Do you go BPA? Do you go for need on this team? Am I going to sit here and tell you that Will Johnson is not one of those top best player availables? I think without the injury issues, Will Johnson is probably a top 10 pick. Heck, if we're being honest with you, he's a better DB than Travis Hunter. He's a much better DB than Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's probably going to go 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like, it's like Travis Hunter's a solid DB. Will Johnson's a great DB.
I like Keith's Hall comment. He says misdirection. Poles hasn't missed in the first round. And technically, I mean, he has been solid. I mean, I'd rather go with the safe, solid pick, but I don't know if Will. First of all, you say injury concerns. I don't want that. But
does have some last season. Again, it was a toe issue, had a toe injury, which that'll slow you down. Listen,
we talking about a toe.
We talk about a toe. Also had a hamstring issue. Nothing major, nothing torn, nothing, no breaks or anything like that. But those are nagging injuries. And the question that you do have a lot of times with these kids coming out of college with how they play is, if you do go that direction, is this the moment where he starts to have those injury issues kind of piling up, right? Are you taking a chance there? But he was the best cornerback in football.
Yeah. Well, I prefer, honestly, I'd rather make sure my running game is solid or the trenches is addressed. Because to me,
well, that's the conversation you got to have, right? Like, this is a move to me if there is no Ashton Genty here. This is a move if there is no Mason Graham. This is a move if there is no Armand Membu, right? Like, even a Tyler Warren, right? Like, value-wise, is DB more important than tight end, especially with the fact that you have a tight end on your team? Again, need versus BPA.
Well, we're looking at it's a play. To me, first round, you're trying to find an instant impact player. I don't necessarily want to go, safe. Safe is like drafting a tackle. That's not the sexy pick, but it's somebody that you can put in, contribute right away. I mean, when you looking at base at a mock draft right now, I mean, they have Tyler Warren going to us at 10 if Shedeur goes 9. And to me, it's interesting just to see, like, because the way the draft plays out. Personally, I never thought it didn't make sense for the Giants to not look at Shedeur. And now you're hearing them; they might be looking at going to visit Shedeur, going to them.
Well, he did. He went on a visit to them.
That's what I'm saying. But it makes sense. Even signing Russell Wilson and Jameis. It's like, you got your placeholder, you got your backup, and now you got your future. And I don't think that's the wrong way to look at it. It's probably the smartest thing that GM could do from his snafu from the last year. So if he goes 3, does that push everybody down because that means like I think somebody will drop down to us. I don't know if we're going to lose all the playmakers, because to me the safer bet then would be take Kelvin Banks Jr. Or you can still take Hampton, Amari and Hampton. And to me, I'm sorry, Hampton just sounds better on the Bears, doesn't he? The Hampton jersey, the 30, it sounds better. You know, he's a big bruiser, you know, but I would go that route, you know.
But see, I think even that, right? Like that is when you look at that, right? If you take Omar and Hampton 10, it's high.
How is that high?
I don't. Huh?
How is that high? It's still a first round pick. Like,
yeah,
everybody's so focused on slots. That means you can get the player that you want if you're at a higher position to get that guy. Now, I mean, if you can get greedy and move down because you know somebody else doesn't want him and you pick up an extra pick, cool. But other than that, I can solidify a solid pick. It's not like all is lost.
Yeah, but let's not pretend like a top 10 pick doesn't hold more value than the end of the first round.
True.
You know what I mean? Like this guy's a top 10 pick, right? Like you're picking. I don't want to pick a running back top 10 at all. But if you go Omari and Hampton, that would be an overvalue. Now, how much of an overvalue? That I don't know, right? Because realistically, the part that would make it, I guess, not an overvalue is the fact that if you love Omari and Hampton, the Cowboys are dumb enough to also take him at 12.
But it's not about, is it really being first round is first round to a degree. I get it, it's tiered top 10-ish, so to speak. But the point is that if that's your guy, then I want that guy. If he rates high.
Do you expect the same from Xavier Worthy that you expect from Caleb Williams?
I mean, I understand where you're going with that. That also depends on where you're picking. I think when you're at 10, you're kind of in this little threshold.
But that's what
number one pick overall is a little bit different.
Okay, same position. Do you expect the same from Xavier Worthy that you expect from Rome Odunze?
Yes. I still pick them in the first round. If I can get him, it depends on how did you expect him to be your number one guy to basically replace Tyreek? He came in with the fanfare. All right, he's still there. That's the guy I want. He's fast. I do expect him to contribute. Matter of fact, half of the world expected him to contribute because it was like, even from a fantasy standpoint, you want him. He's going to do something. And Rome didn't even take off like that until he was like up and down all year.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, right? Xavier Worthy didn't have a great season. Nobody's beating their heads over it. Nobody's sitting here, oh wow, what a miss on this guy.
I mean, yes,
he was solid. He was
solid.
Get
that. Right.
Rome Odunze, right now you're looking at it, and I keep saying this. I love Rome, but it's very tough to not look at Rome and go, "Ooh, Jared Verse was right there. You could have had."
Well, I did say
could have had. Like you're never going to have that expectation on Xavier Worthy.
I get that. Well, I did say there's a window. I mean, if you're at 10 to 15 in that range of getting guys, I understand if you're in 10 and taking a guy that's rated 30. Okay, yes, I get that. All I'm saying is that if Omari and Hampton is in that 15 to 20 range and I take him at 10, I'm not mad at that pick. I get if you take Grace Abel at 10 because he was ready to go in the second round. I get that.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. At 10, there's still some options there. That's all. So I don't know if I'm going to look at I would look at it. I still got if Kelvin Banks, Omari and Hampton, those type of guys are there, I'm not going to be mad at that pick.
Steve-O, this was a terrible comparison because either one in my book.
9 to 20. Missy the ring.
Hey, Auntie Missy looking different out here. 2025 Missy looking different out here. Hey, that was a bad comparison there, Steve-O.
That's a big drop-off, dog.
Listen, I love Rihanna. But I'm not losing either way in that situation. That speaks more to your point. That's a win-win situation.
That's hey, eyes in the beauty of the beholder. I say that.
Hey,
all I'm getting at is at
2025 pitches.
I'm just saying, like you.
Okay, Blaze and Nugs. That's disrespectful. We're not doing that. Yeah, Riri versus Oprah.
Either way, I think we have options.
Let me Google. Go to Google. Calm down, Steve-O. It's 7:36 in the morning, brother.
Look at this. Everything is all out of whack. They took Bears talk about possibly taking a quarterback at 10. You know, I'm up here in my Bears robe.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. You really just sitting here in a Bears robe, bro. Like
it's the morning breeze. It fits. I just need my mug.
You have no pants on, brother. You don't have pants on the street with me right now.
It's part of the act, man.
I am uncomfortable, my boy.
I am just I'm being. It's all about the brand, man.
I seen a super chat earlier, and I feel like I missed. I did. Bears Junkie, shout out to you, man. Say, could I buy a ticket to the draft party without taking somebody's spot? I'm in Florida, but still want to support.
Yes,
I guess. Yeah, sure. I guess so. Hey, man. That's like a Steve. Told you, dog. I told you, Pat. I think robes should be the standard on the morning break.
Because I honestly been wanting to do this for a while. Like I'm like I got to get on. I just don't get up there early. Actually, my wife did me a favor. She took my daughter to school, and then you text me like I need the information. I was like, I was gonna sleep in, and I was like, well, I could do this now, and I'm like, let me go ahead. So I didn't know Jordan was out of town. It actually worked out perfectly.
It did. I'm dying laughing at this. Appreciate
Hefner here. Old Hefner.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. What do you think the Bears are going to do? Do you feel like this defense is set? Are you excited by DB at 10?
No, I'm not.
I don't know if I
live with it, but I'm not excited about it.
Listen, and I think that's the bottom line with all of this, right? It is, hey, like we can't sit here and say trust Poles, trust Johnson, trust Allen, trust that these guys, and then they make a pick we don't like, and we're like, oh, I knew it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but if they're winning, like that's the thing. It's not necessarily always about what everybody else. Like the fans, it's almost like the election. There's a popular vote.
Lightly here.
No, I'm just saying there's the popular vote, and we all want this person, but at the end of the day, it's the electoral college that decides.
Yeah,
we can say, oh, well, we want all day. They're going to decide who to pick. So it just depends. But we can,
100%, 100%. Let's finish it out with this one. As what you?
No, I was thinking, hey, something about Joel proving he owns a brothel. Holt Hefner, that's right.
Hey, shout out to the super producer Joel Holt. Please don't stand up. Let's finish it out with this.
Calm
down. You calm down. JP said Mike Green or nothing. Bear down. You know how I feel about it. I said it's Khalil Mack. You take a DB over Khalil Mack, I am gonna be pissed a little bit. Yeah, I mean, but no. Let's finish it out with this. As yet again, the Chicago Bulls go out there and put an absolute dud of a performance up last night versus the Miami Heat and are out of the play-in. Now, listen, I did say that this was best case scenario for the Bulls because just like last season, now there's some precedent to go out there and capture the flag. Cooper Flagg is the number 1 overall pick. Just last season, the 10th overall pick did net the number 1 overall pick. Now, I would not expect the Bulls to end up with the number 1 overall pick yet again. But what I will say is this. There's precedence for it. And do you want them in New Orleans? Do not let that boy go to New Orleans. I'm not gonna lie to you. With half the names that's on this list, if I'm Cooper Flagg and I'm looking at the NBA draft, I'm like, I'm going back to college. I'm going to play another season in college. I'm God up here. You think I need to go to class? Like, there's no chance that I would come play for the Utah Jazz. I'm making what's he probably making already? $2+ million? Yeah, I mean, just in NIL deals.
Right.
There's no way in this world I'm coming out. But Chicago Bulls do lose last night, 109-90. The one thing that I take away from this game and where I think there is a problem here is you went into yet another game another play-in situation, another playoff potential atmosphere. In my mind, Josh Giddey showed up. Didn't shoot great, but showed up 25, 10, and 4. Nikola Vucevic has 16 and 12. Modest Buzelis really didn't have much there, and I think there's a concern. But Kobe White, finishing out with 17 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. But the impact in the game from Kobe White never felt positive. If you're in now year 3 of seeing this with Kobe White, is it time to say, oh, you may not even be a number 2 option. You may honestly just be a guy on this team. Kobe White shot 25% last night.
Yeah. But is it the first time that he's really thrust in that role? I mean, Zach's gone, the pressure's up. Do we overreact from that standpoint? This is a team that was a little engine that overachieved in the last month.
That's 2 months.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't the same team that started off at the beginning of the year. It's a
100%.
total different team. So now you go up against a coach that is a really good coach. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was like, well, they're like Miami's taking the Bulls out the last year or two, and it's like, yeah, that's because Jimmy was there. I was like, well, Jimmy's now he's not there, so I expected them. I mean, look, I didn't want them to win anything because I'd rather put us that pick. But I think it's the best situation. I wouldn't beat up Kobe. I mean, the man was on a tear. It's a young nucleus. You come in like they don't know how to win. This is the first time they kind of been in that situation. So, and you're still going to make some changes to this team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be a dream to get the number 1 pick to put Cooper Flagg on this squad. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it was just a tough night. I mean, he had 7 turnovers. It clearly was, hey, Kobe, we need you to be the focal point of this team along with Josh Giddey. They tried to put it in both of their hands, and Kobe dropped the ball yet again. And that, to me, I mean, listen, this is 3rd year in a row. Last year, right, Kobe was coming off a dominant game in Atlanta where he absolutely eviscerated the Hawks, which is why I was hoping he had a good game here, because I did think that he would go into Atlanta and absolutely destroy the Hawks yet again. They would have had to go to Atlanta. But the conversation on when the pressure ramps up in those most important moments, is Kobe White one of the best players on the floor? Some games he is, but there's just as many of those games where he isn't. And I think that's where it's like, it kind of gets tough. It kind of is like, okay, I think you're talented. Clearly you're a really good scorer, but, and I think somebody said it in our chat last night, just the Miami Heat just know how to defend Kobe really well. That's not a good excuse. Well, like, I get it, but like, we wouldn't make that excuse for Klay Thompson. That's a number 2 on your team, right? We wouldn't make that excuse for Kyrie Irving when he was with Kevin Durant. We don't make that excuse for Devin Booker when he's with Kevin Durant. We don't make that excuse for number 2s in the league, right? We'll make that excuse for Jason Tatum, who oftentimes plays like a number 2 but gets paid to be the number 1.
Yeah, but I just think that this is the first time where he was called on to be the guy versus coming off the bench or being a secondary player. It's now on you. And I think that like they tell you, the playoffs is a different mindset. You're going up against really still a gristled veteran squad minus Jimmy Butler. Like, it wasn't necessarily just Jimmy. They got some killers on that squad. And Spoelstra is not a slouch, as a coach. So I think, to your point, they knew how to coach against him, but they weren't necessarily ready, just coming into the playoffs.
Yeah. No, listen, I think that is my concern, though, right? 3 years in a row with this, and I kind of agree with Steve. Shout out Relentless Mike. He's been waiting for this chat. Don Burr for Jim versus Jimmy. I do love that they're going at it in a Bears chat. I love it, man. I love it. They are going at it. I love the chat that we've created. It's my favorite thing about this. I agree with Steve-O here, though. Kobe always struggles when a team actually has a game plan for him, when a team actually focuses in on him. And maybe that is number 2. Mm-hmm. But last night, all I was asking you to be was number 2. Josh Giddey didn't have a great game. Shot 42% from the field, 9 for 21, though. 25 points on the game, 10 rebounds, had 4 assists, maybe need a little more assists from him in last night's game, but nobody could hit a shot because of the defensive game plan. I needed you to be the 2 last night. The guy who stepped up as a 1 stepped up as a 1. All I needed from you is don't turn the basketball over. Play some solid defense, which the Bulls as a whole didn't do well as a team. And give me 20 plus points. Exactly what we've been asking for you to do all season long, and you did it for an entire half a season. But when the pressure got tough, you didn't get going.
And the going gets tough to get going. I was actually listening
to the bathrobe.
I was listening to Billy Ocean, I swear, last week for some reason. Like,
so you're in a bathrobe and a Bears hat, and you're singing Billy Ocean on the stream in the morning.
You brought it up. You brought up the Billy Ocean song.
I did not.
You said when the going gets tough. Like, come on, man.
That's a very regular statement that has nothing to do with Billy Ocean.
That was Jewel of the Nile. You guys, for all the old guys, they know that. You guys, you weren't even alive when that.
Yeah, we got to get up out of here, man. I don't know what just happened right
Oh, baby. I'm just saying, man.
I don't know what just happened. I'm concerned. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening this offseason. The offseason is here. And again, I said this going into the stream. I said this going into the game. I did think the Bulls would win, but this is best case scenario.
It really is.
There's precedence here. Yes. I'm not saying that maybe there's a couple of extra ping pong balls thrown in there, but
what is it? What percentage do we get? Because I mean, it's not like 1.8.
I want to say the percentage went up. I didn't look at it this morning. Hayes, I don't know if you're in the chat. I guarantee you Hayes knows because he probably already recorded a video on it. But let me see if I can look. I know I can look it up. Percentage at first.
The lottery thing is, I think it's top 4 is 5.7% chance for the top 4. Oh, we're at 1.2%.
1.2.
Yeah, Utah's 14%. Damn, we have a less chance than we had with Derrick Rose.
Hey, but there's precedent.
Jeez, 1.2%. Dallas is 1.3.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before, and the one thing that is weird here is, are the Bulls going to be smart enough to get their team to a point where it's close to being marketable? Right? Is a Josh Giddey, Kobe White, whoever you go with Vooch in there, if Vooch is probably going to end up being gone, right? Is this going to be a point where Adam Silver goes, yeah, we got to make business good again? Why was Luka traded? Now I'm not, there's a lot of theories out there, but it doesn't make sense that Luka was traded. No, there's no logical reason Luka should have been traded. And to the Lakers, nonetheless, in the Western Conference, Dallas basically said, hey, we'll make you great. There you go.
Is it big business that if LeBron's leaving, we don't have a marketable star in one of the largest markets? Is that conspiracy? Chicago's number 3. New York is. That would be good. Hey, I'm fine. Hey, we need it. We need that shot in the arm.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. If we end up with the number 1 overall pick, I would just look at Joel and just be like, it's rigged, dog. It's got to be rigged.
Dude, it was rigged when Cleveland got LeBron. It was rigged when somebody else came home. Now it's interesting. New York should have
when the Bulls got Rose, when New York got Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, it was Patrick Ewing the first one. Yeah,
happen where it's like, that's weird.
Yeah, it always worked out. Yeah, yeah. At the Spurs for Wemby, we're gonna make sure he goes to a good team so that good coaching and make sure he's fine. I think they kind of messed up when they let Zion go to the Pelicans. They're like, yeah, we want these small market teams to get these stars. Yeah.
Hey, man, we're going to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. As always, make sure to tune in with the draft party. Unfortunately, again, like I said, we did have to move it due to some issues with the previous spot, but we still are having a draft party. We still are giving away a TV. There still is going to be a merch raffle happening. So tap in with us, man. Make sure that you guys pull up the VIP Bar and Grill out in Homewood, Illinois. It's going to be a great time. As always, man, for the super producer, Holt Hefner, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down, one love, see red. Peace.
Robes is the only party dress code.
Joel is not wearing the robe to the draft party. I can't guarantee that.
I might have to get my ghost face on, man.
Oh, God.
Holt face.
Holt face is crazy. Let's get out of here. All we need is bunnies.
Hey, Holt honeys. I need the Holt honeys with the Holt Hefner, yeah.